All is well. It's actually one of the new teachings that I'm currently writing in my second book. I'm going to explain all is well, then I'm going to elaborate on a few things and tie this all together. All is well, just like many words that I have been taught, are codes of consciousness. And when you unlock the codes of consciousness, you activate the code of your soul's highest conduct. So let's decode all is well. All is well is an acronym, a verbal symbol. So let's take it one step at a time. All. What is all? Right? A word all that seems to include all. All stands for absolute law of love. It is the realization that that which includes everything is the force of love, and the force of love is the absolute law. And if you've never heard of that absolute law of love, all, me neither, but I was told that. Not by the news. The voices in my head. And historically speaking, the voices in my head are a lot more accurate. All absolute law of love is, which is IS, infinite source. The absolute law of love. What's the purpose of this absolute law of love that is all-encompassing and inclusive? It reveals our infinite source, where we come from, what we are expressions of, infinite source. Right? People say it is. It is infinite source. It's the infinite declaring itself as you are, infinite source. And what is the way in which this infinite source moves through time and space simultaneously? The natural state of this infinite source welcomes every life as light. W-E-L-L, well. The absolute law of love reveals our infinite source that welcomes every life as light. All is well. That's a code. And when you remembered your purpose to abide in the absolute law of love as the infinite source that responds to anything in view by welcoming every life, no matter how it acts or appears, as the respect of light, divinity honoring itself in form, that's when you know that all is well. And all is well is the vibration and the campaign that we as light workers are here to spread. Being a light worker, and just to give a different way of looking at it, being a light worker, you can describe it a lot of ways. And a lot of ways that we describe being a light worker, it kind of only makes sense around other light workers. If you've ever been blessed with the opportunity of having someone who's not a light worker, or doesn't think they're a light worker, ask you about it, and then their face looks perplexed as you're explaining it, it only makes sense in a spiritual bubble. But that's why life puts you around people that don't give a crap about that, to help you get more grounded with what it means to be a light worker. Someone once asked me, what does it mean to be a light worker? Like, really? And I said, being a light worker is that you are the announcer of well-being. You are the voice of the divine that ensures that well-being is announced. because well-being is the natural state of consciousness of God, of divinity. And to be an announcer of well-being is to make sure that in every moment in your presence, the announcement of well-being, the declaration of the presence of light, will never go unseen or unheard in your presence. You are the announcer of well-being. Stuff goes down, all is well. Why? Because you're the announcer of well-being. People who ask, how all is well? There is no how all is well. There is just all is well. They're waiting to welcome their life as light. And so we are the infinite source, welcoming every life as light through the announcement of well-being, to return all beings in our presence to the absolute law of love. All is well. And we relate to the external reality like kind of a video game. The external brings you a vibrational manifestation, and you counter with the opposite frequency. I'm not saying all is well to deny what you see. I'm not saying all is well in response to what you see. I'm saying you see something arise of a certain vibrational standpoint. And when it disgusts you, when it sickens you, when it hurts you, when it scares you, it's the collective consciousness showing you where it's collectively vibrating at. And like flashcards in the cosmos, the negative vibration comes up, and we respond with a positive vibration to neutralize and transmute, to clear more space in the cosmos, to anchor more all is well, to announce more well-being, to raise the vibration of all sentient creatures for the well-being and evolution of this planet. We are not responding because of what we see. We are simply responding vibrationally. We don't need to connect up to the heavens. We just need to return to our breath. Because breath is divinity. One who is one with their breath becomes the embodiment of the soul. The soul in its most asleep and dormant phases of evolution is what we call an ego. Remember I said earlier, no ego shaming. Just like you wouldn't shame a child until they become an adult. We don't shame ego because ego is the soul in its most dormant phases of incubation. It is the spiritual spark within you that will begin expanding and growing in rapid and miraculous proportion when it's time to bust out of the cocoon and wake up. Why shame that? That's God in its potential state, not in its actualized state. Why shame that? And when you return to the perspective and intelligence of your breath, you are saying to the universe, yes, light, I will go your way. You lead the way. You show me where I need to be. You can lead this journey. I'm just going to breathe. And when you decide to breathe, you stop becoming someone who needs to be rescued, and you start moving into becoming the announcer of well-being that lets the world know with your breath, with your smile, and with how brightly you shine that all is well. So I want to kind of give you a way of looking at it in more peaceful, conscious terms. Because I'm not telling anyone what to do or not to do. I'm not telling you where to march. I'm not telling you to march. I'm not saying don't march. Because each and every one of us has an impulse, an inspiration of what to follow. And you have to learn how to follow that within yourself. I can invite you to listen to yourself, and only you will know what you hear. But let's not think of protest if that's what we're going to participate in. Let's not think of it as we are coming together to oppose, take down, or deny anything. Let's think of it like this. Anything that you see in the world, politically, socially, or otherwise, is an agenda that is for something that is contrary to the ethics, values, and vibration of your God consciousness in your body, which is why your body doesn't resonate with what you see, right? So people come out and go, hey, here's what we're for, and you tune into your body and go, well, that feels kind of awful. I am seeing promoters that are promoting something that creates the absence of the divine's highest values, creates more time where the divine's highest word goes unheard and unspoken and unrecognized. So as announcers of well-being, as light workers, they can have their agenda, they can have their campaign. We're just taking the time and space to say, well, you have the right to promote into the atmosphere that vibration. We are going to make sure that well-being and the highest values and words of consciousness don't go unseen and unheard. Do you see the difference? We're not opposing their campaign. We are just making sure that our values and our word of consciousness also gets seen and spoken just as often, so that nothing is missing. Do you see the difference in that? Progress occurred, even if just in that moment a precedence was set. In order to be the announcer of well-being and light worker that you came to be, there cannot be any form of ego shaming. Because the people who are acting in the way that you are trying to deny and oppose are already inundated with the shame that they don't want to look at, which is why they turn away from it and act the way they act. So then shaming and ego fills it with more shame and gives it more ammunition and more justification and more motivation to keep becoming the enemy that you get to fight with. And as it seems to go, ego, even in its dormant state of evolution, has way more time and energy for a fight than you do. We say it because we listened, I hear nothing, all is well. That was my purpose. Who do we disagree with? No one. If someone wants to disagree with you, let them. What happens when you let someone disagree with you? You say something and someone goes, I see it differently. Fantastic. Now what? We're going to circle back and go, you are completely wrong, sir. Okay? Okay, all is well, thank you. Thank you, all is well. All is well, thank you, all is well. Go front, backwards. You know, like a Led Zeppelin album. You're not going to run the all is well backwards and send negative energy to someone. All is well, light both ways. You ever let someone disagree with you? I disagree with you, sir. Thank you very much. No, sir, you are wrong, sir. Okay, thank you. I am wrong in your eyes. Thank you. No, not in my eyes. You are wrong. In the biggest sense of wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. No, but you don't understand. You must be stopped. Okay, stop me. Stop me. Stop me. Stop me. All is well. All is well. Stop me. But if you right now don't see a problem right in front of you, then your mission is different at this moment. You are here as light bearers and anchors of a higher consciousness that is bringing into the world and helping to create a tipping point for the world so that those who are in actual problems can can start to be soothed and uplifted by our energetic contributions and begin to transform and evolve into a reality where they don't have to have the problems that you don't have either. And my mind blew up. And you want to know what happened when my mind blew up? All is well.